Здравствуйте, товарищи, and welcome back to our humble Soviet Republic, nestled deep, seemingly, in the middle of nowhere. As we continue this marathon recording session, I gotta tell you I'm actually quite nervous about the plans I've laid out for today's session. See, on the one hand, today's plans could absolutely blow up in our faces and bring us nothing but ruin. But, on the other hand, these plans might be that last catalyst for our economy, allowing it to truly accelerate and grow, which then ultimately frees us from the shackles that have held us back for the better part of the previous decade. I'm really hoping that's how it plays out. I'm really worried it'll go the other way, but in reality, we'll probably end up somewhere down the middle. So, without further ado, let's dive on in. Actually, wait, no. There's one last piece of ado, and folks, that is me mentioning, as always, that if you've been enjoying this series, you should please not hesitate to let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. As always, the number of likes is a quick read for me to understand exactly what people are watching and enjoying on the channel, and beyond that, your comments all do get read and taken into consideration as well as I move forward with this series and really anything on the channel. So if you have any thoughts, suggestions, fears, concerns, hopes, dreams, whatever it might be, leave them in the comments down below, and they will get read and addressed in one way, shape, or form. With that said, though, just another quick reminder that this is, in fact, yes, still part of that massive marathon recording session, which means if you've been leaving some comments and suggestions with regards to, well, anything we've been up to, I haven't been able to address them yet because I've already recorded this and probably a few more episodes coming up as well. But rest assured that I am reading your comments and I will address them and hopefully adjust for them when the opportunity presents itself, once I'm able to catch up and once the comments have all caught up with the, up-to-date episodes and all that good stuff. Now, with that all said, and without further ado, let's dive on in. First things first, let's double time it. Second things second, let's go ahead and do some aesthetic work as I procrastinate this extremely terrifying decision that I'm about to make. Not seriously speaking, but maybe at least in part trying to prepare myself for a rather large risk. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm genuinely quite concerned about how poorly my plan might play out. But if it works out well, my goodness, it's going to be amazing for us. So yeah, let's go ahead and do a little bit of aesthetic work over here, real quick. Not purely as a means of procrastination, mind you. This is just something that's been on my mind for so very long, and I keep forgetting to do it. So I figured I'd go ahead and do it today finally, because I thought about it exactly as I was about to pan over to some other elements, and what better reason to tackle something than that? So let's go ahead and get the gravel all laid out over here. And I wonder if I might not just as well put some gravel down over here too. I was tempted to put down asphalt because of the buildings and their decorative elements, like how they're prepared, but I think I prefer how the gravel actually looks, so we're going to stick to that for the time being. It's free to place, so I can always replace it later. Y'all let me know what you think. When I think about these kinds of city blocks, this is the aesthetic that comes to mind, and probably that's playing a big role in influencing my decision making over here. But if you guys feel differently, then please do say so. Maybe I should stop putting so much gravel down. We're just completely paving the entire planet at this rate, and that maybe isn't the best approach either. But it feels right for this central area at least. And yeah, we can always go back and remove it if we want to, but I think for the time being, this all makes sense. We'll keep it as is, and we're just going to pretend that the road isn't actually as bumpy as as it actually is. My goodness. Okay, I can't look at that too long, because then I'll regret not having gone back and made adjustments. But on that note, real quick adjustment I do want to make over here, folks, because I think it'll be an easy thing to do, and it won't take very long. I'm going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit. Just got to wait for these vehicles to stop actually using this area. Then I can pull back, and I think what I can do is adjust this a little bit. Maybe smooth, or actually no, hold on, let's go ahead and back this up a bit more. I assure you this won't take very long, and if it starts taking too long, I will absolutely stop, because I know I shouldn't be fiddling. But I also know that I can't help myself, because this was bothering me with how it looked, and if it's an easy solution, I definitely desperately want to try, at least. Very least. There's a smooth option. There we go. Do we raise instead? There, because when you do like these micro adjustments, sometimes it impacts beyond what it says it'll impact, and you get some pretty good results actually. And then you can kind of do something like this, for example, which is to say completely change the way you'd previously approached the road, and hope that that'll smooth things out and maybe look a bit nicer than what you'd done previously. Upstrats. Let's see if I can't... Yeah, see, I really feel like there's an opportunity. Oh, yeah, there we go. Right, see, that feels nice. And then this will not... Oh, there we go, beautiful. This should connect once we get this going straight out, like so. I should be able to connect you. There you go, beautiful. See, perfect. That looks, to me, a lot better. Like, yeah, there's a bit of a climb over here, but I buy that one of these massive trucks can do that climb. Maybe tip some gravel over on the way down, yeah, as you kind of brake and turn over here, but nah. This looks a lot better. I'm glad I went ahead and did that. So with that done, though, let's go ahead and actually upgrade some of these roads to gravel because we can afford to do so. I think this is about as straight as this road is going to get. I don't have any wiggle room over here, I don't think, to push this any further up. And so let's go ahead and upgrade this section. Again, pure gravel, not asphalt, because we're producing all the raw material locally, and should be relatively easy for us to get this done. Relatively easy and quick, and at the same time, all the way over here, as we're laying down the asphalt road, not only have we made a ton of progress, we also don't really need, I was going to say as much gravel, but obviously this hasn't seen any action yet, so it needs all the gravel it'll ever need. But I imagine most of it's en route already. We got about 25 tons there, and another 25 or so tons, whatever's left. 16 plus 25 is 41. Yeah, so it's getting all the gravel it needs, which means that gravel is going to be sitting there looking pretty. Obviously, asphalt needs to be delivered by similar vehicles, but that shouldn't be a problem because gravel just gets dumped. So let's go ahead and upgrade this entire section, I think. Let's go ahead and cancel this and this so it can all be upgraded in one kind of swoop, right, as I like to do from time to time. Like that. Cool. Let's upgrade this section as well. Again, eventually we'll do this out of asphalt, but for the time being, just gravel because I've got my plan for the oil fields out over there, right? With that said, I have some regrets on that front. More on that in a bit, though. I wonder if I shouldn't upgrade all this into gravel as well. Probably not a bad idea because these buses and stuff do use these roads. And that's definitely slowing them down significantly. I imagine that's using this road now because this is under construction. And that's fine. If we make this a bit faster, I assume this would probably be the faster route. And in fact, what I would like to do is have the buses, rather than have them kind of back up this way, which seems a little unrealistic, I'd like them to go through, take this road down, and then make their way over. I'm not necessarily going to do that using waypoints or anything, but thought has crossed my mind. So let's go ahead and upgrade you all the way through. Let's upgrade you as well, because this guy's here to stay, right? Say that, and then immediately think about adjusting. Nah, it'll be fine. Go ahead and do that. And eventually we'll be able to hook these guys up. Again, no real rush, though I wouldn't mind cleaning this up a bit more. I think I probably can. And you know what? Now I've gone from jokingly procrastinating to just getting tunnel vision. So this is the last thing I'm going to do over here, and I'm going to turn back to the plan I was alluding to earlier. There we go. That just looks so much cleaner. And then we can upgrade this to gravel as well eventually, and look how quickly we work over here, all because the gravel is readily available right there, and the excavator's already arrived. Yeah, this is going to be quick. All right, cool. Cool, very cool. Health, I think, is on its way up. Happiness seems to be stable, and the population is rising as well, so that's all good to see. I do wonder, actually, if I shouldn't maybe get students picked up at this bus stop as well, and maybe purchase an additional bus too. But you know what? I'm not going to have the money for that, I don't think. Well, I probably will, but I'm going to play it safe until I can guarantee that. Okay. On to the plan. So, as we expand further and further down, the first thing we should do is make sure that we don't accidentally commission the construction of all of these pipes, right? That would be a disaster. So, let's go ahead and batch suspend. You have to do it twice because the first time it actually thinks he wants to build it, and the second time it tells it to stop. So batch suspend all those. Batch suspend all of these as well. and all of these. Again, don't want to accidentally build any of these. The pump jacks are going to get connected soon after we actually connect the electric substation, so let's go ahead and get the dirt path connected over here, and make sure that a construction office is en route, or rather assigned, I should say. And let's also make sure that these guys have a construction office assigned. Yes, okay, beautiful. So, power is going to come through as soon as the power starts coming through. Well, it won't come through unless we build this thing as well, so let's get that going. Right. Construction office assigned. This vehicle is here. Why? Oh, for the wires. Gotcha. Okay, so once all this is built, we can turn our attention to the pump jacks, because without the power, there's no point of having the pump jacks, right? But. Do I really want to get trucks driving all the way down to here to then go all the way back up to there, across the bridge and up towards Kurvarud or, Albalutakia? I don't think so. A lot of fuel being used, it's a lot of time probably being wasted, and it might actually be quite a significant game changer if we build some of these pipes. So I do regret putting down all this asphalt road, because ultimately if we're not actually coming down here with our trucks, then this might, be deemed wasteful. Now, to be fair, if there's a fire, we want to make sure we're able to respond quickly, right? So there is that aspect of it. So maybe it's not such a bad idea, all things considered, but it does feel kind of funny because we've invested, a decent bit of money in building all these roads, a decent bit of time, I should say, in building all these roads, and now we're going to go ahead and just put the pipes down instead. But I do think it's a worthwhile investment, and it is a serious investment. See, this is why I was saying that this could really blow up in our face. I'm just going to select, let's see, which, let's pick this piece of pipe. Piece of pipe over here needs 60 tons of steel. 60 tons of steel. Where is steel? Oh my goodness. At 400, rounding down, rubles per ton. 60 tons of steel is half of our treasury. So, yeah, I'm a little worried. But it means that we'd be able to bring all of that up to this storage area, and from this storage area over to this loading and unloading station for the trucks to come here instead, get all their oil, and make their way over. And I think that's going to make a significant difference. Even now, I wonder about this distance over here that this guy is going, right? Now, that's relatively short compared to some of these distances, so I'm not in as much of a rush. But beyond, more efficiently getting oil from those guys down there, eventually as we build some of these more local pipes as well, it'll make a significant difference on that front as well. So this was always the plan. I was thinking of pulling the trigger on it much further down the line when we had, maybe at least one more digit up over here. But I think if we pull the trigger sooner, we're probably going to be in a better position. Probably, maybe, hopefully. Dear God, I hope so. And that aside, just want to note as well that we are currently researching the refinery design and construction. Still some time to go, sure, but once that's done, we'll want to take a look at actually building the refinery. It might take some time for us to be able to afford that and for us to be able to staff the refinery. I wonder if I just bring in like foreign workers or something to do the oil refinery, because it's probably significantly cheaper to just get foreign workers to do that and then export the fuel, or at least not have to import fuel anymore, right? Like if we take a look at import of resources last month alone, this year maybe, yeah, geez, it's a lot. So maybe something to think about if we can do that. That might not be a terrible idea. But anyway, my point is we're making progress over here, and when that refinery is ready to go, I would like to have our pipes leading up to here. I wonder, because we know there's more oil out over here. How long do I want these pipelines to be? These are the ones that I can spend more for, I guess, right? So those can come later, and they can be quite long, and that'll be fine. We might even have a whole city up over here, working those pipes, or Funha over here might expand. Yeah, sure, there's options. Anyway, we'll want the refinery somewhere up over here, and for that we'll need these pipes, unless I want to have these trucks individually moving oil to the refinery, which I don't. So, enough rambling, I suppose. I just want to check one thing really quickly here, and that is these pipes. Again, this is facing this way because my primary concern was getting this connection over to this guy over here. In hindsight, maybe it should be facing the other way, and I'm wondering if that's not the right call here, because I can adjust this. Like, these would come in The other way, I'd have one piece going around to connect to this thing, and then the other 3 would head over to the refinery. There's only the one refinery, right? I'm not going to need or build additional ones of these, loading and unloading. And again, I hesitate because this is like a permanent decision waiting to be made, right? Like, once I make this decision, once I build this thing, and the pipes that go into it, there's no undoing it. And I could just as easily bring these around the other way, I think, to connect them on the other side. It's always going to be 2 inputs. The daisy chaining should work unless I'm horribly mistaken. It should operate as expected. And it's just a matter of this thing. Now, again, over here, what I can do is I can very easily, loop this around. And just for the sake of an example, I'm going to go ahead and show you what I mean. Like, I could do this kind of a thing. Like that, I guess. And then we'd have to go up to avoid this hill, or we can just kind of come around, follow this road. That'll probably make it extremely long. Or like, yeah, let's, again, for the sake of example, do that. And, easily enough, we have a very, very tall pipeline. I might adjust it a bit so it's a bit lower and closer to the ground. But you get the picture, though, right? Like, I can very easily pull out from here and go around. It just adds maybe a couple more meters of distance to the pipe, which is what, maybe 10, 20 more tons of steel. It's not an insignificant amount of money, but when we're building that refinery, by the time we're building that refinery, we should be in an okay position because we will have already built some of the other pipes and stuff, right? Now, can I actually do the same thing on the other side, or will I have to bring you over this way? Let's see. Yeah, just a bit of an adjustment to height, I suppose, and then... This is interesting. Just again, just kind of scouting out what our setup could be, in theory. Yeah, cool. Looks suitably industrial. So we can use this as is, and this thing as well can probably come all the way around with a bigger circle, maybe. Yeah. Overlaps with existing construction. Oh, life finds a way. I'd find a way to make this work. Point being, we don't need to rotate this. We don't have to adjust our other plans. Because our current plans work for our immediate needs, and then our future plans we can adjust. Or rather, I should say, we know we'll be able to make it work. Alright, cool. Just wanted to check this to make sure, and also to kind of, like, walk you guys through my plans, my theories, so that if you spot any issues, you can point them out, and we'll avoid that trouble. Worst case scenario, we need to decommission this thing, rotate it, rebuild some of this stuff. But again, by that point in time, hopefully we'll be in a better economic state and be able to afford that without having to worry too much about it. Okay, so just want to really quickly take a look over here. Things are flowing smoothly. Things are looking okay. The reason why I'm looking over here is because as I focus in on working upgrades and things like that, I want to make sure nothing else is falling behind. The one concern I have... The one major, I guess, concern I have is, are we bringing buses here quickly enough? Should I upgrade this section of road to asphalt and then use this bypass for the time being as we wait for this upgrade to finish? Because that's a huge slowdown, but is that enough? Is that significant enough? That's one concern I have. Oh, this is all done already. Cool. I mean, it's not perfectly parallel, but it's parallel enough. It's close enough. And this is all done as well. Man, gravel upgrades happen so quickly. This is done too. So what are our buses doing right now? Yeah, they're pulling back, aren't they? View line details? Yeah, I guess it's just that much faster to come down this way, despite this little patch of dirt road. But at least they're coming down to the asphalt. Alright, I'll take that. I bet you if I upgrade this to asphalt, it'll quite possibly come down here instead. We'll fiddle. Again, I could always put a waypoint down. I don't know if that's the best use of resources. If I put a waypoint here, then it'll force it to come down this way. But we'll let the shortest, fastest route take precedent for now, and we'll maybe fiddle with this later. But yeah, I'm just worried about the rate at which workers are actually coming to this clothing factory, because I feel like it could be a little bit faster. Because if I'm not mistaken, I have unassigned... Oh no, I haven't unassigned the bus platform. Oh, wow. Okay, I guess we lost quite a few people from this building in particular, which means, you know what? Okay, don't allow citizens to move into this building. Same thing over here. Let's fill this building up first, because quite a few of these workers, that's about 40 people who used to go to this bus platform, aren't going to that bus platform anymore. So that's probably causing us some trouble. And actually down over here, or actually over here, we've got a distribution of people, like a specified distribution of people. And I just wonder if we don't want more people dedicated to going to the kindergarten. Looks like we're doing okay in terms of numbers, so maybe we're fine. Okay, cool. And don't forget, we have these plans up over here as well, right? All right, we're at 60K now. I gotta jump, right? I gotta jump. Where's my... right. Alright, how do we do this? I'm thinking we pull the ones furthest down. Have we got power over here? We do. Wow. Okay. Start with the pump jacks. I start with everything at the same time. Buddy over here is not connected, is he? Oh, interesting. Pipe connection. Okay, interesting. Don't know how that happened, but I'm glad I spotted it. Take you across. Sharp of a turn. That's fun. Not sure how that happened, but all right. I should probably be able to pull this back a bit more. That kind of a thing. Well, hang on now. That kind of a thing. Hopefully the wires don't... oh, yeah, that's safe. That's safe. That's not an issue at all. Don't worry about it. Pull that across. Just like so. And then bring you back down to Earth. And then hook you up like that. No real difference in cost. Slight difference in length. This looks smoother. No, it doesn't. Well, let's do that. Sure. Okay. Glad I checked. Okay, cool. So this costs us... okay, it's no longer one giant section. It's 18 tons plus 16 tons. That's not too bad. What are you doing here, buddy? Oh, I guess this thing hasn't been suspended. Alright, decision's been made. Oh, you know what happened? Is because I split it, it automatically commissioned the construction of this one. Fair enough. 18 tons of steel. A little bit of mechanical components I'm not too worried about. Let's go ahead and commission this as well. And let's go ahead and commission this pump jack. And look at that, everybody's just on their way over. Alright. Get to it, I suppose. This one I'm not going to build just quite yet. I am not in a rush there. This is happening, this is happening. This has been commissioned as well. Okay, cool. Do we just go from 60 to 52 in a heartbeat? We need to, of course, build this guy as well. Yep. He's got his road connection. We got to build this guy. 18 tons of steel. Sure. Obviously got to build this guy to actually store the oil. And I wonder if I'd connect this directly to the refinery. Probably, right? We'll have bigger storage depots and stuff down the line when we're tapping into some of these larger deposits. This is a relatively small operation compared to what we're going to be doing, you know, hopefully in the 70s. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue your construction as well. And this one we're going to need. And of course we're going to need this guy as well. I guess he can wait. He can wait. Suspend you for the time being. Let's pace ourselves a little bit. A little bit. Gonna have to connect you, of course. Do that right here. Cool. This guy we're going to connect with the asphalt road without the streetlights or anything. Go ahead and do that. And we'll want to upgrade this as well, right? Up like so. Hook you up like so. So these guys are able to kind of come in, get their oil, loop around, and leave. Okay. So, start your construction and start your construction as well, because if I'm not mistaken, we're actually done almost all of our roads. So I mean, what I could do, I suppose, is I could focus on the pump jacks. Like this one's already being built. End your construction, buddy. Let's go in order here. Have some semblance of organization, maybe. But okay, so we're working on this guy, working on his pipes as well. Yeah, cool. You're right. So what I was saying was, I mean, I guess I could get these pump jacks going, get a couple of additional trucks, and have them coming down. The trucks are, what, 8,000 rubles per. They make that money back in relatively quick time. So that is an option. The other option is, of course, to, for example, get this pump jack up and running. And as it gets up and running, and as we're still waiting for the pipes to get built, we'll get the trucks that'll move these goods. Because ultimately, we're going to need more trucks. We're like at the rate at which we'll hopefully be filling the storage up, we'll need more trucks anyway. So that's another way of doing it. We'll keep an eye on our funds as these guys get built up, but that might be the way we go about doing it. Bring some workers down over here, I assume. Cool. Just got to be careful about how the construction offices decide to take on some of these tasks. All right. I can't believe it's happening. Pipes on both sides of the river for very different kinds of work. Shipping dark liquids, I suppose, is the common ground, but it's finally happening. All right, that's all well and good. That's all exciting. Up over here, we still have our little traffic jam. I mean, again, it's not causing us any trouble per se. These guys are just kind of sitting here looking pretty. I could build another free road depot. How do you sell vehicles? You used to be able to just sell them like this. But now you scrap them. And I can't for the life of me. I guess, do I have to... ship them out? As opposed to just drive them to an export customs house? Seems to be the case. Do a bit of digging on how that has been changed since I last played in early access. Again, you guys might have the answer already for me in the comments down below, but I need to figure out how to get rid of some of these things without paying for them. Obviously, the road depots are free, which is great. I'm glad I can do that, but it's not a permanent solution by any stretch of the imagination. Ideally, these road depots would be used for something valuable, you know? You know what? Screw it. Why am I bothering so much? Let those guys stay there. Let them stay. Is down over here, still making progress. Yep. Pumping away. Pump checks pumping away. Money's looking alright still. And up over here, I do intend, by the way, to build another clothing factory. I'm probably going to do a fair bit of terraforming up over here to be able to fit it. But I'm okay with that. This, again, as long as I'm largely terraforming sand, I'm okay with something like that. We might need to do a slight adjustment to the rock over here, but you'll never catch me flattening the rock entirely or something ludicrous like that. That feels like overkill. That feels like too much. But a bit of flattening of sand, I think, is okay, especially considering, you know, it's almost the 70s. And I think that kind of work, that level of groundwork was a bit more common than we might be thinking. I'm not going to overdo it like we've done a little bit up over here, but it is something that I'm going to be doing a bit of over here just to get this setup working properly. The other thing I've been thinking about is crops. So we have the option of farming, even though we're, you know, in a massive dry desert. We have these little like oases. Oases? We have these like more moist areas, and we can absolutely grow crops on them. If I put down a small field, for example, you see we have, like, if we were trying to build it somewhere where there's no chance, we'd get that warning. Including if we were to put it on a bunch of rocks, we'd get that warning. But we have room. We actually are able to put down some fields over here, for example. Right out to here, we've got room up over here. There's plenty of humidity that would allow us to grow our own crops. The thing is, farming is a bit of an investment. We would need, so there's a couple of ways of doing it. We could have people, just workers, working the fields, but obviously it's not like we have, you know, a huge number of workers available to us readily either. They have more important tasks, such as producing clothes. So I'd rather not use workers. Instead, I would probably use the farm, which would have the vehicles sort of automatically going out to tend to the fields. But there's a lot of different kinds of vehicles you have to get, and they're all rather expensive. And of course, the farm itself is expensive to build as well. Even the small farm, again, I'm just going to use steel because that's a very quick indicator of general cost. 28 tons of steel. Not that much, not terrible. But maximum production of crops per workday is only 10 tons. That's nothing, right? So, okay, fine. We'll need... wait, oh, they're all at just 10? No, okay, fine. Fair enough. I see. This notation isn't the same as some of the other buildings, I guess, then. Because it can't possibly be just 10 tons maximum per workday when you consider how much some of these other facilities need. Either way. I'm really thinking about putting some of these fields down, and I'm not convinced I'm going to do it today, just letting you know right off the bat, but I wanted to talk about this a little bit today, so that, again, if you have any thoughts, you can share them, and I'll take those into consideration as I make some plans. The reality is I might pull the trigger on this before you're able to watch this video and leave your thoughts, but there's also a very high chance that I'll be distracted by countless other things, and your input will come in time. Obviously, we can always demolish fields as well and reposition and replace them. That's obviously an option as well. But what am I thinking? Again, just trying to plan some of this stuff out. I'm thinking we'd put a couple of like medium fields over here, avoiding the power lines as possible, putting some small fields around them, because the power lines will cut through the crops. They'll actually like intersect with the field, so to speak, and you wouldn't get maximum usage of the land. But then again, I say that, but how else are we going to use the land, right? So maybe it is crops, maybe it is fields. The other option, of course, is to have smaller fields lining the power lines, and then oh man, we'd be able to fit quite a few of them. Thing is, farms can only be assigned so many fields, and that's why you want to balance the number of fields versus the size of the fields. You can't necessarily get too nitty-gritty with precise placement. Oh man, alright. Big field is huge, isn't it? Ooh, I might be able to fit one, actually. 65% average humidity. Interesting. Probably a terrible idea, just because of how the hills are. But right, so that's one thing, and then I would think I could probably put the farm down like somewhere up over here. It feels nice to do this next to the water as well. There's something, it feels like it goes hand in hand, right? Like, you think about all those Hollywood movies where you've got the water tower next to the small town kind of thing. And Ashkakal is, I mean, it's growing into a massive city, but for sustenance, everyone needs crops, right? So you got your little farms in the outskirts kind of a thing. Feels right. But yeah, we put the farm down over here, for example. That would then allow us to establish the grain storage right next to it, and from the grain storage we might even be able to put down a food factory, which would take those crops and turn them into food, and then the remaining crops would be taken up to this warehouse over here to be turned into, you know, fabric and clothes and all that good stuff. If we take a look at our economy really quickly, you'll see that over the course of, let's say, this year alone, we've imported 22,000 rubles worth of crops and 27,000 rubles worth of food. Both of these resources are resources we will always need, either for just consumption by the people or consumption for the production of other goods. So it feels like a good idea to chase after them, right? Maybe not as aggressively as the production of fuel, for example, which is why we're doing the research we're doing now and so on and so forth. But it feels like not a bad idea. If we take a look at all time, yeah, I mean, 200k a piece. Now, granted, that's a long period of time, but it is something to consider. it is something to consider. Short term, it doesn't do nearly as much damage as some of the other goods that we have to import, such as, you know, steel. Always a big not source of income, but maybe source of stress for our economy. But yeah, so that's the thinking over there. And of course, we can go ahead and pursue. I mean, actually, alcohol. What's the deal there? About 2,000 as well. This year as a whole, because we're almost done the year. About 9,000 rubles, nowhere near as much as crops and food. So I'm not so hard-pressed for alcohol or meat even, but meat is of course an option too, but the livestock farm requires crops. So it all boils down to crops. It all boils down to crops and then getting the slaughterhouses and stuff. That's all well and good, but first you need the livestock. It's all small. The buildings are all small. We have room for them. We can build a little farm out over here. We can extend the farms out over here as well. You know, there's plenty of room for farming down over here too. If we take a look at the medium field, like, we got room for farms. We got room for fields. Not as much as we'll need to take care of a huge metropolis, perhaps, but for the size of city that Ashkakal is right now, that is an option. Anyway, I don't want to get too caught up in conversation. I know it doesn't feel like progress, but planning is a big part of progress in my book. So I apologize if you feel as though it's not making us move forward, but having these kinds of thoughts laid out help me make moves faster when the time comes to actually make those moves. I'm going to turn my attention really quickly again up over here. This pipe, oh, you know what? Wow, that just kind of happened, didn't it? That all just kind of happened, and that's cool. That's cool. So this pump jack is up and running. This pipe is up and running. This guy's almost done too. This pipe is just waiting for a little bit of steel, which looks like it's about to arrive. Yep, cool. And buddy over here, he's just waiting for a bit of construction. So we might as well get you working. And yeah, you working too, sure. What's up with the roads? Why haven't they been completed? Alright, looks like we're bringing the last couple of bits of resources in. Cool. Because again, if all this gets done, but this doesn't get done, then we've not actually made any progress, right? We've made progress, but we haven't been able to take advantage of that progress. So, wow, okay. This thing is done. Geez. This is actually moving a lot faster than I expected. Cool. And all this just to bring oil from some of these guys. I joke, obviously. Not the only reason. But it is one of the reasons. We're suspended. We should be suspended. Okay, good. Yeah, as long as there's no resources on site, we didn't waste the money to bring the steel over. All these excavators just waiting there. Okay, cool. At least we know power's working. Right? This guy's next, I guess. 60 tons of steel. Oof. 30 tons of steel. That's 100 tons between this entire section. 100 tons of steel. I almost wonder if I'd be better off building this one next. 42, 10, 12, 64 tons of steel. Again, save on marginal fuel costs. I mean, damn, we're seeing progress, alright. Oh, hey. Hang on a second. I think happiness is higher than it's been in, like, 9 years. I think so. I say 9 years, like 6 years, 7 years, something like that. Would you look at that? Was it really just about sewage? Nah, it can't have been just about sewage. But when did we... Like, there's been a proper uptick over the course of the last year. What if we just take a look at last year and a bit more? Yeah, I mean, I don't want to assume that it was just the sewage, but that seems to have made a bit of a difference. Health took a hit. Oh, you know what? That hit was when that hit was probably when we had to shut down the sewage system for a little bit of time. Loyalty is also fluctuating. I mean, it goes up from time to time. That's nice. Really got to do something about loyalty. Not trying to rush it, but it is on my mind. What's the deal down over here? Cool. Because the thing is, I should point out, by the way, I realize I haven't pointed this out, but as far as propaganda is concerned, if I could just find... Where is the radio? There we go. We do have smaller ones available that need fewer people working them. So there are options. And these are mods, so I still got to figure out if they've been balanced appropriately for the 1.0 launch, because these are mods from a long, long time ago now. So I just got to check in on them, but we do have options. Obviously, the regular radio station is going to be very hard for us to staff, given our current population and all that good stuff. It's also a massive building, not that I can show you right now. But we have options. We will have options, including this opera and ballet theater, which is classified as a radio station for some reason. I guess they also broadcast the performances, so that makes sense. Fair enough. Right. What's next, I guess? More housing would be a top concern. These guys are not topped up yet. Well, they're not supposed to be. You are slowly growing your population. Okay, good. Because again, just as a reminder, we want to make sure that this house gets topped up first. These buildings need to be topped up first. Garbage container is overfilled. These guys have access to garbage, right? Yeah, all these buildings are taken care of. Oh, we had one over here as well, but I could be mistaken. We're about to have a garbage problem over here. So sure, why don't we go ahead and do a bit of waste management. They'll be small garbage containers. Simple back over here should do the trick. Just get maybe a smaller one. We're actually not going to have any coverage. The range on these things is tiny. Absolutely tiny. Look at that. Won't even reach from there. Guess I could squeeze you next to the power. And I'll take care of this hospital as well as the store here. Where'd you go there? Just my hesitation here is just to figure out if I want the garbage truck coming off the road on like this, or if I want it to be somewhere else. Here, for example. Not connecting to the sidewalk there. Too steep of a descent. Really? Seems pretty... Okay. I kind of like this back road idea. It just feels a bit more tucked away and like you're not going to get in people's way. Which feels right to me. But in doing this, I won't actually be able to fit it. Great. Alright, let's not get too fiddly here. Oh, there we go. Perfect. At the shop, do we get the hospital? No. But presumably, we can connect like that or something. Sure. Done. Still suspended. Wanted to make sure. And then we should definitely be able to get the shop and the hospital, and we can also pop you down like that, which just feels so much cleaner. Cool. Let's go and do that. And let's make this footpath out of gravel. Just because we can. This isn't super urgent or anything. We got garbage trucks coming through. But yeah, up over here, this guy is backed up, right? So why don't we go ahead and... You're covered. Yeah, you're covered. These guys... You're covered. Making sure... Yeah, like these guys aren't covered, so we could probably do something for them. These guys aren't covered either. So, you know, if these three buildings all share the same garbage facility, then that'll be a bit more efficient. The larger one, maybe. Right outside the school is always a good spot to store garbage. Infrastructure. You are the infrastructure. Come on, buddy. Alright, might have to go with the smaller one then. Yeah, gonna go with the smaller one. All good. What was that? Sounded like something broke. Or like got destroyed. Really, can't place your infrastructure. You're tiny. There we go. How about the footpath won't connect? Let's try the other side. It might be like just something about how steep it is or something like that. Close to existing buildings. You know there's got to be something here. Yeah, no, it's just the paths are all funky. And I can't flatten. Alright, I guess we might need multiple... I don't want to put it out here because that feels like we have such a nice clean line here. It feels ridiculous to put a garbage facility out over here, you know? Oh, hello. So I can do this. Can't do that. Alright, if I do this... Again, just outside the school. Where'd you go, buddy? We got the school and this apartment complex. Maybe I can get a footpath connection. See what we can do, maybe. At least it's something. I'll pop you down there like so. And I... Fair, it's too steep. Okay. But is that going to give us the connection I want? Probably can't check like this. I'm probably, honestly, much better off just putting down another stand here. But I can't, right? That was the issue. The flattening. I don't think I can do anything about terraforming. These buildings are all too closely packed. Okay, fair enough. Oh, one way to learn. One way to find out. That's the best we can do, so go ahead and build that. Hopefully it'll work. If it doesn't, we've only wasted like, what, like 5 tons of gravel or something? Not even that. Close, but not even that. Alright. A lot of oil we're going to have to export real soon. Why are we not building this? The road has been completed. No construction offices have paths. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Definitely connected. I guess we'll wait until this bit gets done. A little bit of asphalt en route, right? Yeah, 7.3 tons. And then we'll need to roll it, I guess. But it should connect. Now, we have a decent bit of money again, so I should probably continue my expansion plans here. Is this really what's next? The massive undertaking? Geez, I guess so. Yeah, okay, sure. Christ. $60 to $30, that's 100 tons of steel, yeah. Or here, you know what? Let's go ahead and continue this construction. And, let's do this instead. And then we can reassign those trucks down to here until we have a bit more money. Something like that. Seems reasonable. Dirt road for the time being, we just need it for construction and for, you know, fire trucks and stuff like that. My goodness, we wasted a lot of time fiddling with garbage containers. I apologize, folks. That was obviously not my intent. Got really kind of sucked in there. Up over here, the gravel roads are all completed. I could upgrade this road. I think I should, in fact, upgrade this road. Get that done. And you know what? Get this done too. Why not? Well, I'll tell you why not, because now we can't actually access the gravel. There. Just so we have access to the gravel. And since we're doing that, let's batch that as well. I'm not going to cancel this road just in case it breaks something. We'll need some workers. I think people from the bus stop should be able to make their way over, and that should be okay. And obviously a lot of this construction we can't do yet because it's also cost prohibitive, just the amount of steel we'd need. But as some of this gets up and running, we'll be able to invest in it. $42 tons of steel, okay. Okay, we're working on it. We're getting there. Now this has been completed. Can I get... Yes, beautiful. Now the construction offices come. I guess they were waiting for... I don't know why they'd be waiting for that road section specifically. Like, you're building it, you don't have to worry about one-ways. And even that said, this one-way is the way. I mean, maybe it just needs both input and output before it'll build. I guess that's a good way to warn players. Like, hey, you're not ready yet. You might think you're ready, but you're not ready. But okay, concrete, gravel, asphalt, some steel, mechanical components, all good stuff. We should actually be able to pull this off. Maybe. I guess it's getting all pulled over to here. Fair. You prioritize this. Because otherwise, like, let's call that 170 tons of oil. Oops. Yeah, I do the math. A lot of money we're just leaving on the table. Obviously, we need the trucks to come and pick it up and all that good stuff. Sorry, I should be looking at this number, 20. But it's, either way, a lot of oil just sitting there. I cannot wait to process it up to fuel. Sells for a pretty penny more. And that'll be extremely good for us. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at the university here. 92%. Once this is done, we're going to have, let's call it a planning session, but planning here entails actually placing the building down and figuring out all the connections and figuring out where to get the resources from and all that good stuff. That's going to be intense. And I mean, at that point in time, this almost feels useless. Will I actually need oil loading and unloading? Well, what we'd probably do is break this pipe, hook it up to wherever the fuel is being stored, and that way this becomes a fuel loading and unloading station. And our trucks then come up to here to pick up the fuel and then take it over to, you know, wherever they're exporting to. And that way the trucks still don't have to move too far. Obviously, we'd have to invest heavily in all the pipes and all that good stuff, but you know what? I feel a bit more comfortable with that, given how our progress today has gone. I was really expecting a lot worse than the situation we actually find ourselves in. So that's reassuring. This bad boy is being built as well. Yes, indeed. Okay, cool. And we'll eventually get to these guys too. Not going to wait that much longer, actually. I wish this wasn't so jank. That is. This feels good though. It's good to have this stuff up and running. a major step obviously missing over here, but we're working on it. More asphalt coming through. Got all the gravel we'll need? Yeah, you do? Okay, excellent. Not too much steel or anything either. Just got to get to that step of the construction process, obviously. Alright, cool. One more check over here. Still not full, eh? But 1,700 people living in our glorious nation now. Is that the highest population we've ever hit? I believe so. So we've recovered from that dip and then some, ever so slightly. Still not looking so hot as far as the university-educated individuals are concerned. That's not increasing at a consistent rate. I imagine some of the older people are dying, and some of the younger people aren't getting that education because they're trying to get that education over here. There's no professors because they're all focused on the future of the nation. And I imagine that's hurting us a bit. And while up over here, we don't have enough officials to facilitate education. Again, I could be researching something else up over here as well, like getting us towards the secret police or tourism or something. But I want to educate more people as well, right? Don't want to lose track of that, lose sight of that objective. Otherwise, the next step, I think, folks, is going to be to actually expand a bit further down this way as well. I got to really figure out how I want to do that, because we got some rough terrain. We've got some rough terrain, and I would like the expansion to continue down in this direction, but obviously we have to work around the land that we've been given. I could do a bit of flattening over here, as I think we'd stay within reason. And I'd only do that because we've already extended to here, but I'd maybe try and cut that flattening off somewhere in this general vicinity, because it's gone on for quite a bit of time. And as many of you have pointed out, it's starting to feel a little unreasonable. We could potentially build a bridge. Useless bridge, like for what purpose? To what end? I'm just trying to figure out how we expand, especially along this curvy road. Or do we ignore it completely and just branch out and build a whole new block somewhere down here? They'll have access to the hospital, to the groceries up over here, the bus stop up over there, and not much else. I mean, obviously I can do the same over here, right? I can probably pull this down and have a nice housing section over here. Deal with the curvy road a little bit. Go ahead and bring you down, buddy. Just so I don't lose track of that when the time comes. See what we can do here. Sure. There's options, I suppose. I'm a little nervous about... well, not nervous. I'm a little uncertain, I should say, about how we're going to expand down this way. And follow all the rules we're establishing for ourselves. And obviously we have these buildings as well that'll come soon. Before I forget, I should really uncheck Get Citizens, because that is going to eventually happen, and it's going to kill our economy. Looking alright, though. Looking alright. Cool, okay. Seeing progress, seeing progress. Jump over here. Sorry, I keep just kind of observing, I know. But I want to make sure we're ready to pull the trigger as soon as the trigger can be pulled, basically. Reassign some of these trucks to come here instead. This is also a simple, cheap construction at this point in time we can probably do. And that way we can just reassign all the trucks to come here instead. Maybe marginally more efficient, perhaps. That's certainly a view. I do wonder about getting another bus. Oh, geez. You know what? Maybe that was just a matter of timing, but if we get that many workers waiting at this bus stop that frequently, then we certainly have a problem. Okay. Get to about 40 or so people. One of my concerns is the number of people with university education that end up at this bus platform rather than at the police station, where, look at that, this year, 98% of unexamined criminal cases. Why are we allowing that to happen? It really is quite unacceptable. We have a lot of educated individuals that are just going to the bus platform. Maybe I gotta adjust some of these numbers a little bit. But again, the last time we did that, our economy started to collapse. I don't want to get too caught up in micromanaging some of these details all over again, right? Like, I want it to just kind of grow naturally. But obviously, as we've seen, this it won't just figure itself out or anything. Anyway, folks, I figure that it's time to call it a session. I know this was a bit of a slower one, but cautious, sustainable growth, I think, is the name of the game when you're about to invest in, I don't know how many hundreds of tons of steel we imported this session alone, but it was worthwhile. We've got this connection up and running. We've got... Geez, this is almost full up. It all moves a lot faster than I'd anticipated, I guess. I also didn't expect this to be stuck in terms of construction. If I'd known that, I would have left the dirt roads for a little bit of time. But hey, it's fine. It is what it is. We've got the mechanical components en route. Hopefully the steel will come through shortly as well. It is a high priority construction, so this should be done fairly soon, and then we'll rejig our oil sort of movement, and we'll actually have this up and running potentially before the 70s hit. And then, yeah, I hope that the more efficient movement of oil will really help our economy, especially as we complete the construction of some of these guys further down, and just amplify how much oil we're actually producing without the need of, you know, further employment or anything like that. And that should double the rate of oil production. And if we just take a look at export last month, let's say 10k rubles is the average. If we're making 20k rubles a month instead, then that sounds good to me. If we can keep it that consistent. But I mean, as all that is happening, we will very soon... Oh my goodness. Folks. Set all that aside. We can put down the oil refinery. Now, 500 workers is not something we can actually fully maintain right now. But it's also not like we're pushing 250 tons of oil per day, right? $300 tons of steel just to build this one behemoth. But oh man, it'll make that money back so quickly. Lots to think about, folks. But all that and more next time. I hope you enjoyed this session. If you did, you know what to do. Let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. As always, it does make a very big difference in letting me know what people are enjoying on the channel, letting me know what I should do more or less of, and how I should go about doing it. Again, yes, I hear you. This is probably a slower episode than we would have hoped, but I guess that just reflects my nervousness through some of it. I wish I hadn't gotten so distracted by those garbage containers. That was my bad, but... Either way, folks, I hope you enjoyed this session, slow as though it may have been. Next session is going to have another big risk associated with it, and that is, yeah, planning this refinery, trying to figure out if we can actually sustain it. I mean, for the longest time, well, we'll get into it next time. Folks, as always, a massive thanks goes out to all of the channel members and patrons who've been supporting the channel on a monthly basis. They'll keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, a big old thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time. Cheers.